Jae Berman. I am a registered dietitian and personal trainer here in San Francisco. I work actually just down the block at a club called the Bay Club. And I've worked with Attune on and off for several years, just doing media work, and Annalise and I have this weird, we met each other a long time ago when she was working for another company, so we just keep coming back together. But I just love so much what the company stands for and how it talks about getting, developing a closer relationship with your food and really understanding like what you're putting in your body and how that can affect you. And from a nutrition standpoint, I obviously am obsessed with that. So many of you are from Weight Watchers, because Weight Watchers is such a phenomenal program for so many reasons, but there is one little thing that sometimes it misses, which I was going to bring up today, so it will be a great kind of incorporation for those of you who kind of speak that language, because it really is kind of a different language, the Weight Watchers world. I mean, a different language than everyone else. So that will be a great thing to add. So the first thing I just wanted to kind of bring up with breakfast is that breakfast truly is the most important meal of the day, and many people don't eat breakfast regularly. I have a hunch probably you all eat breakfast regularly, considering you're here at 8:30 on a Saturday for a breakfast happy hour. But the majority of people who come to meet me, oftentimes their first meal is 12, 1, 2 p.m. And they do that for a few reasons. First of all, they wake up not hungry, and so the idea of eating, which maybe some of you can remember, is kind of hard. If any of you used to not be breakfast eaters, I know in high school it would make me sick to eat breakfast. And also, many people think that they're being good from a weight loss perspective, like I'm going to save my calories until later, so that I can, eat more later and not waste those calories on a whatever in the morning when I'm not even hungry. But that is absolutely the incorrect way of thinking from a weight loss perspective, but also from a physiological perspective. So the body will only, it's not just burn fat or lose weight, but also just live well. I mean, it really is the same concept if it thinks that it is not in trouble. And the one way to let your body know that it is safe and that it is not in trouble is if you fuel it. So if the body thinks that it's stressed, if the body thinks that there's a problem, it's going to hold on to every last thing it's got. So you could go from beautiful San Francisco, Transamerica building, for some of you who've never been in the ferry building, I mean, it's like truly heaven on earth. But you could be moseying around the ferry building today, and your body thinks it's starving in the desert and in serious trouble. And as all of us who are women, and if you're premenopausal, your body is like, my key priority is for you to have a baby, so I'm going to hold on to every single thing that it can so that a baby can one day live so you can procreate. Now, that might not be a priority for any of us in the room, but our bodies, that is the goal of our bodies. And it's really important to remember that you might want to look good in jeans, you might want to be able to run fast, you might want to be able to do all these things, but this body has a purpose, and it's trying just to keep you alive. It's always trying to get out of the stress syndrome. Like, did any of you see that movie 127 Hours, or hear that story of that man in Utah? Your body is constantly trying to keep you safe in that situation. Now, hopefully none of us will be stuck, in a crevice in Utah and have to cut our arms off with a pen, but your body is prepared for that, even though that's not even on your radar. And so it's really important to remember that you're constantly, your body's trying to make sure you're not stressed while you're going about your everyday living your life. So breakfast is the #1 way to lower those stress hormones, because every single one of us wakes up, no matter how healthy we are, no matter what our weight is, starving in that desert in Utah. All of us do, because we've gone more than 4 hours without eating. So your body can only hold on to about 4 hours of sugar, glucose in your liver, and after those 4 hours are depleted, your body goes into this, mini stressed state. And a few things happen. Your metabolism slows down. So right now, all of us are burning calories because we just ate breakfast. But if one of you didn't eat breakfast, you would be burning less calories than the other people at this table. So you actually are burning, because your calories, if you're in a stress state, the body doesn't want to burn anything, it wants to hold on. you hold on to fat, and you especially hold on to fat in your stomach, because that's where your organs are, and your body's going to want to keep extra padding there. So just in case a lion comes out and bites you, it may not get to your liver as quickly if there's some extra padding here. Again, not a priority for any of us, but that's how the body's working. Your brain lives off sugar, so if you have run out of sugar stores in your brain, your ability to multitask is subpar. So those of us, especially women who are master multitaskers, at 3 p.m., if you haven't eaten throughout the day and you've got 10 things to do, you're not going to do them as productively without that food. So eating every 3 to 4 hours is key. And so eating within an hour of waking, I should say, to spark that, to lower your stress hormones right away. And then throughout the day is key. So a huge part of my job all day long is scheduling people's lives. So going through their schedule, finding out what time they wake up, finding out what time they go to bed, and figuring out when are you going to eat in there. And if you have a job where you have meetings all day long, and sometimes people have jobs in meetings where it's a company policy, you cannot eat in that meeting. Okay, well, when are we going to, I've literally told people, you need to go to the bathroom, and you need to eat a bar, and you need to come out. I don't care if it takes 3 minutes, but you have to get food in you if you're not going to be able to have any snack time. So getting the body in that state where the stress hormones can lower so the body can burn fat. And from a deeper level, it's quite an important thing that every 3 to 4 hours you check in with your body using food to say, everything's okay, we're good, burn a little fat for me if you don't mind, and I'll be back in 3 to 4 hours, there's nothing to stress out about. So it can be a very powerful mental thing to do to your body to make sure that it's doing exactly what you want it to do. Because so often we don't actually communicate with our body and give our body what it needs, so we're not actually on the same page. So we're frustrated that we can't run as fast, we're frustrated that we can't sleep, we're frustrated that we feel bloated, but we're not giving our body what it needs to make it work the way it wants to work. And that's a really powerful tool. So kind of from a scheduling standpoint, and this ties in with some of your questions, is eating within an hour of waking and then every 3 to 4 hours thereafter, and always trying to get on top of that. From a food perspective, once you've got your schedule down, this ties into the next point, is I recommend, even though there's no research to support this, that you eat a protein and a carb at every meal. So that's where I kind of nitpick a little bit with my Weight Watchers clients, keeping with the points, but then making sure that it's not just about the points at the end of the day, but it's about how many percent protein you're eating within a day. And that's where a lot of people falter, right? So an apple for a snack, in my opinion, is not a snack. It has to be paired with peanut butter or low-fat cheese or deli turkey or nuts or whatever you want, but some sort of protein source so that there's a protein and a carb. And it goes back to the same concept. You have to give your body everything it needs when you eat so that it's okay. Because if you just give it carbohydrate, sugar, the body says, thanks, my brain needs that, my liver needs that, my eyes need that. There's a lot that I can do with that sugar, but I have enzymes I need to produce, I have hormones I need to produce, I have muscle I want to build, muscle I want to recover. That is proteins needed for that. So you always want to give your body these mini balanced meals. And in the American diet, we often fall short of that. We always usually go to a carbohydrate for a snack. Or if you're on these Atkins or diet plans, you just are eating 8 pieces of turkey. And I'm like, that's great, but I'd really love a slice of bread with that too. So that's where combining those mini balanced meals can really be effective. So for some of your questions, with regarding meal variety, you can absolutely eat the same breakfast every single day for the rest of your life. Most people eat the same 20 foods all the time. I mean, most people, even if you are being, aware and conscious of your behaviors, it really usually boils down to about 20 foods that most of us eat on a regular basis. So, and especially in the states where it is so hard to get so much variety, we all pretty much stick to the same, 2 or 3 starches, 5 or 6, pieces of produce and protein sources. It's not like we're one day eating goat and one day eating turkey and one day eating chicken. It would be great, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day as long as you're eating a balanced plate of protein and carb and getting those fat sources. So you could eat the same breakfast forever, and if it's working for you, go for it. But then when it comes to meal timing, so the pre-workout meal is tricky because you have to find something that fills you up just enough and gets you through the workout without making you feel sick. And if it's an early morning workout, then that adds a whole other thing. So like a lot of my swimmers, I mean, they physically cannot eat.
Yeah, I eat a banana on my way, and anything more, I just can't stomach it.
Right.
And then I'm, jumping around, because it's not actual swimming, it's like exercise.
Yeah, so it's a fine art to find what works for you. Like, my digestion is a little precarious, so, eating too much before a workout would not go over well. Well, some of my clients, I mean, they have like full-on like buffets at like 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, really? And then they can work out and they're just fine. So it really depends on the person. However, before I give some ideas, in an ideal situation, you really should eat before that breakfast, and especially before a long run, because if you do not eat before a workout, you can actually gain weight during a workout. So if you go into a workout on an empty stomach, it's like you've been starving in the desert, and then all of a sudden a lion came out of nowhere and started chasing you for an hour. Your body's last priority is to lose weight. Your body is going to store more fat. It's going to shut down even more. It's like, get me through this workout. Get me away from this frickin' lion. Seems ridiculous, but the last thing it's going to do is store weight. I mean, it's going to burn weight. And then if you eat a post-recovery meal, right, a post-workout meal, and or it would be the same if you ate lunch, didn't eat an afternoon snack, and then ate dinner. So went like 8 hours without food, so you're 6 hours without food, so you're in that kind of starved, stressed state going into a meal. Two things happen. A, you eat more than you normally would because your body is hungry. And second of all, you store more of that food as fat because the body is saying, I don't know the next time this chick's going to eat again, so I'm going to eat as much as I can right now. I'm going to store it all as fat. I'm not going to burn anything because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's really important to communicate. It's, so many of my clients will say, oh, I've got a big dinner party on Saturday night, so I'm not going to eat during the day and save my calories up. I'm like, okay, but you're going to eat more at that dinner party than you normally would, and you're going to gain more weight than you intended to because you're going to store it all. Or I'm going to work out on an empty stomach so I can really, really feel thin. I'm like, okay, but then you're going to eat this ridiculous breakfast and then grab that muffin that you didn't mean to grab and that bagel or whatever, and take in way too many calories all at one time. And so it's kind of a double whammy negative. So when it comes to what to eat pre-workout, it just takes time to figure out what works for you before what workout. So like maybe before a running or a cardio workout, you might not be able to handle as much, while before like a weightlifting workout, you can eat more because you're not jumping around as much and you really need that kind of fuel to get through that certain workout. Remember that fats go down slower. So peanut butter or nuts would go down slower than if you had like egg whites or protein powder or yogurt, because fats just go slower through the gut. So if something like that is kind of feeling a little like, I ate too much, then maybe it might not be that you ate too many calories, it might just be that you ate too much of a fat that went down slower into the gut. So a banana would be a carbohydrate source. It would be ideal to get a protein source too. I work out very early in the morning, and so I usually do rely on like a protein powder mixed with water and just mix that up together to chug it down because I can't handle a lot in the mornings, but I wake up hungry, so I got to get something in me. But if it's like a weekend workout, then maybe I would eat more of like an oatmeal yogurt. My breakfast that I'm obsessed with is yogurt mixed with plain yogurt. Oatmeal mixed with plain yogurt and cinnamon. People think I'm nuts. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it, but I absolutely love it. And it came up because I started eating yogurt mixed with almond butter, and if none of you have done that, oh my God. And so I started mixing that, and then I was like, oh, I can mix other things with yogurt, and then I came to this. So it has been a little bit of a journey. I am on, I have like a GI condition. I really can't eat very much sugar. So I have had to really like go down to the bare bones of a lot of ingredients. And so that still has a lot of flavor in it and fills me up and does the body good. So that's been my obsession lately. So just from a scheduling standpoint, from a meal variety standpoint, do any of you have any kind of hiccups in your day where you're like, ooh, what do I eat at this time? Or, ooh, I struggle at this time? Or do any of you notice any kind of how your schedule fits in with with how much you eat? Do any of you notice any of that? Or do any of you like consciously eat on a schedule?
Mm-hmm. I eat every 3 to 4 hours.
And what if you're like not hungry on the 3rd or 4th hour?
I still have something, but maybe lighter than what I would.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, by the time, like, if I, by the time, like, for example, if I don't have an afternoon snack, by the time dinner rolls around, I'm, like, ready to start grazing as I'm eating.
Totally. Yeah, that's usually the thing. So most people eat like 2 dinners. So most people eat like right when they get home, they eat something and then they eat again. So they've taken in, you know, maybe 2/3 of their calories all after 5 p.m., which isn't really the goal of the weight loss plan. Because that's another Weight Watchers concept, is like Weight Watchers says you can have X amount of points in a day, which is true, you know, whether it be points or calories. But I find that if it is not spread out over a day, even if they're on a very low calorie or low point plan, they still gain weight. Because if you do not spread those calories out throughout the day, most of my clients are not very successful. So many of my clients are eating these ridiculously low calorie diets, like under 1,500 calories, but they're eating 1,000 of them after 5 o'clock, and they're frustrated that they're gaining weight when they're eating so little, which I'd be frustrated too. But the reason is because those 1,000 calories, or, you know, equate that to points, what it'd be, you know, 15 points, that all turns into weight gain at the end of the day, even though they're staying in their margin. So it's not just about kind of the calorie counting. It really is about spreading it out throughout the day, getting the timing in, and fueling yourself from that breakfast point onto the end of the day.
I think it's about the right food choices, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, 1,000 calories of Oreos is going to impact your body a lot.
Exactly,
different.
that's a whole other point. So you could,
That's
yeah,
a big
exactly.
diet.
And what normally happens is if you get to a point where you are that hungry, you don't always make the right choices, which is very, very well said. From a breakfast perspective, what are kind of the good foods? So there's one food that can fit in breakfast that the best time to get it in is breakfast, and that would be fiber. Is anyone in here have celiac disease? Because I know Attune has a huge celiac following, but no one in here has those kind of allergy issues. Oh, great. So getting fiber in the morning is kind of the best time to get it, because the biggest source of fiber foods is in breakfast foods. However, you know, Annalise and Attune have shown that like you can incorporate fiber-rich cereals in so many other recipes, like in meatballs or breaded with chicken and all that sort of stuff, and I'm sure all of you have come up with very creative ways. But getting fiber in the morning is just a great way to kind of get everything moving along smoothly. Plus, a lot of fiber-rich foods, like fruits and vegetables, are often hard to get in the middle of the day. You know, a lot of my clients, they can't eat vegetables at lunch unless they bring it in with them. But even then it can be hard because they're bringing their food in, and then there's a work meeting, or then, you know, their office supplied lunch, and they don't know how to balance that out. So, you know, I talked about getting vegetables in at dinner, but then getting the fiber in the morning through a cereal source is, it's kind of the easiest way to do it. So when you guys eat breakfast, do you have a thought? Like, what's the breakfast that you've been relying on for how many years?
Chobani yogurt mixed with either the it's the rice, which one? The
brown rice?
Yeah, crispy brown rice, or granola.
Gotcha.
That's what I have.
That's what you have.
Yeah.
And it fills you up you rely on it because it's quick and easy,
It's
or
quick
because
and easy, and then I usually have a mocha with it, and I make it on my Keurig. So I've got this really tall mocha that'll last me, because I drink it slow, so it'll last me till 10 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Then at 10 o'clock I'll have my banana.
Gotcha.
but now I'm hearing I should have the banana and.
Well, Chobani yogurt is a great yogurt because it's high in protein. So Chobani yogurt is high in protein. Oh, you have your banana as your mid-morning snack.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
So
yeah, in an ideal setting, I would probably have you have half the banana paired with some protein. When do you have breakfast at?
So my breakfast is around 8, and then around 10 I eat the banana, and then 12.
12. So you eat every like 2 hours?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could play with that. See if it changes your satiety if you eat less of the fruit and pair that with some protein.
Okay.
Like a low-fat cheese, like a Baby Bell cheese,
Okay.
or you already had yogurt, so you probably wouldn't want yogurt.
You could do a nut butter, you could do
A nut
some,
butter.
you could do an egg, you could do
Yeah. I work
lunch
from
meat.
home, so it's easy.
Oh, that was
I
going to
just
be my
go to
next
the-
question. You had said spreadsheets before, so I wasn't sure if you were in an office setting. So yeah. So then if you're at home, I mean, the sky's kind of the limit on what you could do in that sense. That's nice. That's good. Yeah, my clients from home, if they say they work from home, I'm like, you have no excuses.
Yeah,
Game
except
on.
that sometimes I eat too much because I can go to the kitchen.
Yes. And that's where having a schedule is. So a lot of my clients are like, oh, I don't eat big meals. I'm a grazer. So there's something very different between grazing and eating small, frequent meals. Grazing is eating all day long.
Yeah.
Which can be, easy to do. But eating small, frequent meals is I'm going to eat, look at my clock. It's 9 o'clock. I will eat again at 12. And really being conscious about when you're eating and how you're spreading that out throughout the day. So yeah, I mean, Chobani and cereal is a great breakfast and has everything you need. So you're good to go. So what breakfasts have worked for you pre-workout?
I
and what
usually do
breakfasts
like
haven't?
peanut butter and banana or yogurt and fruit.
And that is not providing you with the energy you need.
Sometimes
for
it
workout?
does and sometimes it doesn't, so I just wonder if I need to like mix it up. I'm working right now, so I can get up early or really late, so it also impacts that.
So I would look at what is happening the day before, right? Especially with digestion too, like what happened the day before. So maybe you didn't eat a big enough dinner, or maybe you ate dinner at 5 and you didn't want to eat again at 9, but then the next morning having, a peanut butter and a banana isn't getting the job done. And so maybe you need to refuel. So that's where really taking a look at the schedule and seeing what happens. If you're burning a lot of weight, as awesome as that is, your metabolism is changing, right? So your metabolism starts to, it lowers due to the fact that you're at a lower weight, right? Just being at a heavier weight, no matter what it is from, allows you to burn more calories every day. So you're at a lower weight, so your metabolism lowers. However, you're metabolizing more just because your body now knows that it can burn weight. You're providing it with what it needs to burn. So that revs the engine up. So it might not be crazy that you're hungry at 9 o'clock. If you've especially done a harder cardio day, like for those of you who are runners, you might notice like at 9 o'clock you're like, I need to eat. Like I seriously need to eat. And a lot of people go to bed on an empty stomach thinking that like it turns into fat. Even though I love Oprah, I don't agree with that one comment she made. And so you might need to eat that last meal at the end of the day, like a mini snack. Yogurt would be, or cottage cheese and fruit would be like a perfect thing to eat then, just because it's kind of easy on the digestion. And then maybe the next morning you would feel just the right level of hunger. So exercise, as wonderful as it is, it's an art, kind of finding that balance of what time do you need to wake up, what do you need, how are you going to get it, because it's not as simple as like just showing. I mean, look, from a mental standpoint, just going into the gym is a victory. Even if, sometimes, my clients, I call it the executive workout, they just go there and shower, but they're like, I'm just proud I walked into this room. I'm like, good for you. But I also think that sometimes just going and, sometimes you go to the gym, you're excited, you're exhausted, you don't have that mojo in you, and you get on the treadmill and your body's like, get off this treadmill, like walk away, don't do this. And you have to listen to your body sometimes in those moments. Sometimes you can break through, and sometimes you can't. So listening to your body, but kind of as you want to incorporate exercise more into your everyday life, and when you start working, everything changes kind of with that schedule. So kind of trying to find a balance between how to piece it all together. What works, what doesn't work, what's perishable, what's not perishable. So, like, I used to really be afraid to bring food for the whole day with me, thinking it would go bad. Because now there's so many foods I can't eat, so I used to just be like, ugh. And so there was a period of time where I was just relying on foods near my office, which there are tons. But lately I've just been making food and just ice bagging the heck out of it in Pyrex. And I mean, it's freezing cold by 4 p.m. It stays perfectly cold. So, you know, taking a few risks, experimenting with some things, always having a backup plan, and seeing kind of what works to get you through the day is a good idea. Yes.
So what are some snack ideas, or if you're suggesting breakfast before working out in the morning, even if it's something that's protein and carb, what about afterwards? Like, you know how they say sometimes it's like you're refueling or replenishing your body? What would you be looking for, like, as far as, like, a good something to...
Post-workout.
Yeah.
Post-workout snack.
Exactly.
So, if you're an early morning workouter, breakfast, traditional breakfast, like yogurt and cereal or whatever, would be a post-workout snack or post-workout meal. I don't always think of meals as snacks. I kind of think of like the whole day and splitting that up over the same size meal. But some people work better on 3 meals and 2 snacks. It's just differentiating between a meal and a snack in this country. Meals are like 800 calories and snacks are 100 calories. And I don't really want anyone to eat either of those portions. I want, somewhere between 300 and 500 calories for all meals. So for some people that feels like a ginormous breakfast and a ginormous snack, but that feels like a really small lunch and dinner. So I like to think of kind of mini meals throughout the day. The only exception to that is the really early pre-workout snack, because that might just be like 100, 200 calories. Just get something in your belly that goes down right and call it a day. But, so if you're an early morning workouter, a great post-workout would be, a yogurt and one of your cereals, a high-fiber cereal, and some fruit, some eggs, and, if you could do like a little veggie scramble, that's great. My yogurt oatmeal combination is my new best friend. I just did my friend of mine's doing a meal delivery program, and she had me try out some things, and she made for breakfast a chicken patty, like this big but very thin, chicken patty, and a salad, like an arugula salad, and then it was a gluten-free thing. So she had like a gluten-free piece of banana bread, and I was like, really? For breakfast? Like, I wasn't so stoked on it, but it was fantastic. So thinking a little bit outside the box and kind of coming up with some ideas. A lot of my clients eat leftovers for dinner, for breakfast, and post-workout meal, and that's fantastic. I'm realizing with my study, like just the other day, someone said, try chicken soup for breakfast. I was like, that sounds strange, because I love breakfast, so to give up breakfast for a dinner food seems ridiculous, but I had chicken soup for breakfast, and I was like, God, that just went down great with my stomach. So, thinking a little bit outside the box, but the post-workout meal is really a meal. So if you're working out in the morning, your post-workout meal should be a hearty breakfast. If you work out in the evenings, your post-workout meal is dinner. Now, those of you who are like longer runners, you really, from a sports nutrition basis, should be eating something within a half hour of finishing that run. So that's why have any of you guys had like chocolate milk after a long... So chocolate milk is like the genius post-workout recovery immediate, because it's got protein, carbs, and fat in it, and a little bit extra sugar in it from the chocolate. But then you want to eat again within, max an hour after that chocolate milk. So like some of my clients who do like long weekend runs or rides, they're so proud of their chocolate milk, and then due to traffic, or they go to a friend's house, or they go and like they're in beautiful the Marin Headlands and they go for a walk, and then they're like, and then I ate like 1,000 calories at this Italian. I'm like, why'd you do that? So trying to catch yourself and have that kind of mini backup plan if you're not planning on going home and eating. But that's where I think whole foods and really eating the most whole food diet really allows you to be satiated. So coming up with those ideas. What other snack ideas just in general? Well, first there's kind of the perishable, non-perishable conversation, right? So nuts and nut butters are just genius to always have on the go. Justin's, the
Table.
Oh, Justin's makes those individual peanut butter packets, which I mean I just love, and there's no added sugar in their product. They do have a little bit of palm oil just for texture, but I'm okay with that considering the arounds. But just yesterday I was actually looking at some other options, and a lot of those have like a lot of sugars and fillers in it. So really looking at the ingredients. But the idea of being able to throw that in your bag or your desk and it doesn't need refrigeration is fantastic.
P.S. There's one in your bag.
Oh. Having the bar idea and being able to rely on a bar as just a little bit of snacks, if, you know, that's where Attune bars come so in handy if you're craving that sweet, plus the probiotics in the afternoon is just, I mean, I love it. But getting some sort of mini things that you can keep in your purse at all times, so nut butters or something, and nuts are something I definitely rely on. But finding vegetables that work. So do any of you like snack on vegetables during the day in an office setting?
Yeah.
And so what vegetables last the longest? Carrots. Anything else?
Kale chips.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Kale
I
chips.
think everything does if you eat it that day.
And you put it right in a fridge?
You can put it in a fridge, or you can carry. I mean, I've carried like celery, carrots, peppers,
Mm-hmm.
tomatoes, like in a baggie,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get too funky if it's
Yeah.
not like out in the million degrees. Because in the office it's air conditioned,
Right.
so it's not.
Tomatoes sometimes can get dicey, but like, have you ever any of you eaten radishes? I mean, radishes are just so good, and they last all day long. Celery, bell peppers, broccoli and cauliflower. Just, you know, today at the Ferry Building, for those of you who, you know, haven't been there or don't go to farmers markets often, you're going to see like vegetables that you've never seen before, or you know the vegetable but they look a little bit different than you're used to seeing. And because it was picked yesterday or sometimes this morning, that's going to last a lot longer. So like, I was at a farm on Sunday, and it's been such a crazy week. I bought a bunch of stuff from there. I bought a bunch of kale and chard and lettuce and carrots from their farm, but I haven't had a chance to cook it. So yesterday I was like, ooh, how's that kale looking? But it still looks more fresh than it would be at a supermarket, because it was picked on Sunday, and so it's totally fine. So experimenting with some of that can really, really significantly help your diet, because you can have so much more access to fruits and vegetables, and it makes such a difference. Low-fat cheese, it comes in handy. String cheese and the Baby Bell cheese comes in handy. Yogurts come in handy. Pyrex just makes life a whole lot better, because you can keep something in there and it's not super heavy, and I can put a Pyrex in my purse full of stuff and it lasts all day. What are some other snacks that people like on the go?
I think fruit,
Mm-hmm.
along with my nuts or
Yep.
whatnot.
Another thing for people who are noticing that dinner time is really hard, and you're kind of noticing that by the end of the day you do get hungry, some of you are going to look at me like I'm crazy, but one of my favorite mid-afternoon meals is like a full-on turkey sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So for my clients who kind of borderline binge in the evenings, getting like a solid meal in them at 4 p.m. of a turkey sandwich, not loaded with cheese or anything, and not like 8 ounces of bread, but like 2 ounces of bread, turkey, mustard, keep it simple, and you could keep it in your purse kind of for a couple hours. That can really help buffer the dinner situation, so that when they go into dinner, they're not starving. And for those of you who are kind of into cardio, around 4 p.m. you kind of get that like, I'm hungry. So get sometimes like an apple and nuts, even if you are yogurt and fruit, you're like, really, that didn't do anything. So if you just go to the real thing from the beginning and get a turkey sandwich with you, or a PB&J can last a long time in your purse, it makes such a difference. So playing with some of those things. Yeah. So any other kind of questions, ideas, thoughts coming? What'd y'all make for dinner last night?
Raviolis.
Raviolis? Do you rely on like a brand for some of it, or do you make your own, or what's a way that
It
you
was
like?
just a Fresh and Easy brand,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had their roasted tomato pesto sauce, and then we had assorted veggies, carrots, corn, peas, all mixed.
Nice.
Yep.
Easy. It's fresh and
Yeah.
easy. Anything else coming to mind?
We went to Mongolian.
Oh, nice. Was it like you make
your own, so like you can put all your meat and vegetables and pick your sauces, and you can do noodles if you want.
Have you done this before? Because the last time I did that, I made this ridiculous concoction and it did not go down so well.
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah, I think you have to be an expert at it to know like exactly what to do.
Well, this place kind of helped. They had little cheat sheets on the board, like if you want this taste or this taste or this taste.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
yeah.
cool.
But yeah, if you don't know how to mix your sauces, because my husband does it, and he's like, "This is so bad,"
I know.
and I'm like, "Let me make it for you." He's like, "No."
Yeah. We'll have fun at the fairy building.
Yeah. Any last questions for Jae?
I actually have one last question. You know how you were talking about the protein and the carb combo?
Mhm.
What is the percentage?
So what I'm usually recommending to clients is 45% carb, 30% protein, and 25% fat. And so people really struggle with how to get 30% protein and keep their fat at 25%. And that's where you really have to rely on lean protein sources for that, and not always coupling a protein with a fat and not always coupling a carb with a fat. And that's kind of the next level of things that I work with my clients, is really looking at the labels, really looking at like where your food comes from. Like I have looked at labels for, over 10 years with all this stuff, but then as I really had to pay attention to sugar, I started noticing, oh my gosh, there's like hidden bouts of sugar in all sorts of things that were affecting me more than I realized. And then that can really change your ratios around quite a bit. So,
Plain yogurt is one, because dairy has so much, and milk has so much sugar in it.
right. But yes, yeah, dairy. But you can use that to your advantage, because yogurt and or milk can be a complete food to eat.
Yep.
But then some of them even add extra sugar to it, and so that can get a little dicey. But yeah, 45, 30, 25. And so almost every Weight Watchers client who comes to see me, I mean, they are just so great. They're so aware of so many things. They are experts. They know exactly what to do. Fantastic at portion sizing. It's really impressive how successful that program is and how much it educates people. But they miss the protein content. All I do with my Weight Watchers clients is be like, eat more protein, eat more protein, eat more protein. Because they're all experts on the points and how to portion it throughout the day, but they haven't found that ratio. That's what I do most of mine. Now, most of the people I'm referring to are like lifetime award winning
Yeah, I was
Weight
going to say,
Watchers.
because the newer program
I was
is
going to
really...
say, I think the newer program
it really
focuses more
focuses
on
on
whole
the lean-
foods,
yeah.
the lean proteins.
Yes.
And it makes a
Love
difference in
that.
how...
Which I'm loving, and almost all of them have come to me
Yeah.
and been like, did you start working with Weight Watchers? I'm like, no. But they started incorporating more protein in because I think they noticed that people were having that struggle.
Yeah.
So the people I'm referring to, literally, they're like, I'm a lifetime award-winning member at Weight Watchers. I was like, I don't know what that means, but go for it. I'm like, anything an award, I say, go for it. So, but they do struggle with that because they're so focused on thinking in points that they forgot about those whole foods. So they're bringing that back, which is kind of
See,
what
and you
this
just
is
have
all
to go
about.
back to them and say, you need to get your good health guidelines, because it talks about it in the good health guidelines.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
I could tell them that because I
It
only
actually
know a little
says
bit
2
about
servings of protein throughout the day, and that you should pair it.
Oh, perfect. And that's fairly new?
Yeah, this
Okay.
year.
That's the new thing.
Mhm.
Like with Jennifer Hudson, the whole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Started
So
in January.
Monday at 4
Got it.
o'clock,
Dr.
Dr.
Oz.
Oz.
I thought it was his morning show.
It's 4 o'clock.
4?
4 o'clock.
Oh, my leader was saying the morning show.
Oh, really?
Dr. Oz is talking about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that.
Monday.
Monday.
It's like I'm up with the times, but I'm not. You had a question?
Yeah, just like as far as like there are all these guidelines for like portions, like you can use your hand, blah blah blah. It's like a guideline. Or do you have any like tips and tricks for like serving size for like proteins and stuff?
A traditional woman's hand, a fist is a half of a cup, and their palm is about 3 ounces. That's kind of like quick and dirty, traditional.